Welcome back to my channel. So for this woodland themed porch pot, we're going to be using and doing something a little bit fun. We're going to be using a birdhouse. So I had this birdhouse on hand. I bought it for like $7 at a grocery store earlier in the year. And then I glued a birch branch to it. I had some birch branches that went down. And I just, to try to keep with that natural or the woodland theme, I thought that was good. I bought this container at Goodwill. I paid about $7 for it, I think. And then I filled it with some wet foam that I got from Michael's, so that I have some of the stuff that's going to need to be hydrated, or it's better off if it is hydrated. So I am going to start by placing this birdhouse in there. I'm going to kind of put this kind of on center as best I can. This is going to be a little bit tricky to try to get it straight, so we will work with it as we go here and straighten it out. The other thing that we have are these branches. These are willow branches that went down. In my yard I have a weeping willow tree, so I get branches everywhere. We are going to try to create a natural wilderness branching. So I'm going to probably have to try this a couple of different ways. I did it before I put the camera on to try to see if I liked it. So this is going to really be the backdrop. So I really want to have, you can see it's kind of flopping everywhere as willow does. We're just going to try to tie it in. I can always come back and add more. I've got tons of branches out in my yard. So one of the more structural elements I'm going to have for the pine and the spruce is going to be actually Arborvitae, because I think it's got a lot nicer rigidity to it. So we'll use some of this just to try to start this thing out. And I'm going to put the Arborvitae more towards the back. Again, trying to give it a sense of height. This is going to be against a wall, so it'll be fine. Doesn't need to be beautiful on every side. I'll put this one in here, I think, like that. The next thing I'm going to do is try to fill in with some of these white pine. I have some different sizes. I have some that are bigger, longer, which I'll probably put in the back again to give it more height. And then I have some medium ones, and then I have some really tiny ones too, just little sprigs. So again, I'm trying to get some height on this thing. I'm doing it blind, so hopefully this turns out okay. I'm just try to stick some of these white pine in. I've got to come see it from the other side. I've got so much stuff going on here. And this is meant to be quite sprawling. So you can see I've got the height here, and there you can see it's starting, right? So as we go here, we're just going to continue. The thing about doing craft projects, you need to be brave. You just need to kind of go with it. And because you're using foam, I mean, you can always just take things out and redo it if you don't like it. Some height. I've got so lots and lots of white pine. So we're going to start filling in the front of this, because I really want the white pine to drape over a little bit. These are the shorter ones. So here's a little bit longer piece. Again, I'm trying to get this to drape over the front. And had I used a larger container, it may have been a little easier, but I wanted to make do with this. I saw this container at, like I said, Goodwill, and I thought it was a fun container to try to do this with. Bottoming out in some cases. So we're going to just keep going, adding in more pine here. It's kind of a big project. I probably should have did it outside, but it's cold out. I don't want to go outside and be cold. Lots and lots of white pine here. to fill in. I foraged all of these materials from my yard, which is nice. I'm going to try to turn this a little bit so I can see what you see. I can see what I need to get done here. This wants to lean a little bit, which I'm not overly concerned about. I am going to just fill this full with this white pine because I love white pine. It's my favorite of all of the things. And here's some. Stick a little bit more Arborvitae in here. And hear the branches hitting my light above, which is kind of fun too. And when you pre-cut your materials, these types of projects go by really fast. Makes them quite easy. I'll probably need to cut some more because I'm not sure if I'll have enough, but lots and lots of little pieces I've got here. I need to I need to be able to see this. What do you think, new hairpiece? We're going to fill this in and keep putting more and more and more materials in. And I could have used a spruce in there. I've got tons of spruce cut here too for another project. But I wanted to stick with white pine as much as I can. Number one, because it's my favorite evergreen for projects like this. And it just gives it that fun and that playful, whimsical feel. So now I've got these little areas down in front I want to start filling in. So I'm going to use the medium branches to do that. So what you can see is it's pretty light right here. And we really want some backdrop where it feels like this birdhouse is really nestled in the tree. So I'll grab some more of my white pine I've got here ready to go. And we'll just simply add these branches to give it a little bit more height. Got my pruner here ready. Cut some more pieces. Again, I want to give this little side here a little bit more height than what it's got. I'm going to shove another branch in there. I'm going to shove another one back here. Try to get it to fill in a little bit. Might have been too big though. I'm going to shove that in. If I need some more height, I can always pull it back out, but yeah, wow, that's really starting to look good. And I have some other branches I can put in there too. And then what I did is I got some berries. I knew I was going to need them to be kind of tall. These berries are high bush cranberries that I have in my yard, which I have tons and tons of them. And I wanted to give it, like I said, give this some height. I'll hang up in there a little bit. So I think this looks pretty good. I have these other neat little cardinals that I am going to tie up and put up into the branches. So I got these at the dollar store for pretty cheap. So this is not organic, but the rest of it is organic materials. All natural, harvested. I'm going to take a little bit of finagling to get it to stay. All right, I've got my hot glue gun going and ready to go here. And so I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the bottom of this guy here. I did try wiring him up there, but I just think it's going to need to be pressed and held like this. Do you find that when you're doing craft projects you really need 8 hands instead of 2? I know I do, especially when we're trying to hold things. So I put a little wire on there for right now to try to hold him up there. These are really light little birds, so it should work just fine. This little guy is just sitting in the tree. I'll probably strap him in with a little more wire. This one too, got him kind of toggled in there, and I'll probably strap him down with wire. What I'm going to try to do is wrap it more around his feet. It came with a little bit of wire on here, but I don't think that's enough to do what I need it to do, although I could give it a try. They're really little pieces of wire. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'll go up on that branch. Oh, you can't see me. This is what they talk about when you can't see the forest through the trees, right? So yeah, I happen to be a woodland girl. I love woodland. So when I saw this, I saw a picture of somebody that did something like this, and I thought, oh, this looks like a perfect project for me. And because I love the project, because I love woodland so much, I'm going to leave it in house so I can see it. So I think this project turned out really well. I love cardinals. I have cardinal pictures. I have cardinal pictures all over my house. For winter, I just love the red. It's so striking against the winter woodland, which is usually pretty bland, dark, and gloomy. If this project was helpful, please give us a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share this content with others. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.